Hey everyone, welcome to Bass Now Radio. We're feeling like an official radio station because we got no video, only audio. And Lewis
Yeah.
isn't with me. Lewis is calling in.
Hi, it's Lewis. I'm on the phone, but I'm here, sort of.
He's here in
I'm everywhere.
spirit.
I'm everywhere.
Due to the current crisis and the fact that he was traveling around the country, we're giving him a week break from being in my home.
We've got some COVID concerns to make sure everything's good before we get back to it.
We'll be back to a live studio audience next week.
Correct. But we're here. Hope everyone's doing well. Andrew, I hope you're doing well.
I'm doing fantastic. I had Jimmy John's for dinner. I'm sucking on some sweet tea. We're good.
Good deal. I'm just excited to get back to it, get to talking about some fishing, and preview some stuff. There's some exciting stuff coming. We're in a pretty crappy time of the year, but I think that corner is being turned, and we get to talk about some pretty crappy tournaments.
Yeah. Crappy tournaments definitely all around.
Yeah.
It's the fishing is tough right now. It's in full transition mode.
Yeah, it seems most places across the country are either going into, coming out of, in the heart of the fall transition, and it's showing itself for sure.
I did have a memory come across my Snapchat, and it's from us last year at Hartwell practicing. It was like a year ago today or something, and it was good memories. I wish we were.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
we were out there fishing on Hartwell right now.
Yeah, some of the only places. I mean, and obviously it's not as easy as it can be, but I feel like those blueback lakes just don't get affected by the fall transition near as much.
It almost like helps them.
Yeah, it's a time of the year where fish really do focus on bait, and those blueback lakes, they start to cool down. They really start to eat them things, and they school really hard. And I feel like that's some of the best fish in the country right now.
Well, some of the best fishing in the country was not had in Lake Cumberland for the College Bassmaster Series.
The most recent college event, the most recent. Is it the last of the year? Yeah, it's the last college bass regular season event of the year. The only other college fishing event to come is the Lake Hartwell event. Worth noting that one is still on a no travel ban team exemption kind of deal, whereas bass, what was it, last week or 2 weeks ago, kind of opened it up. So I was able to fish. A bunch of guys from Charlotte were able to fish, which was awesome. They had a much better turnout. What was Hartwell? Hartwell's got 115 boats. This one they had, I want to say 171 or 172. So better turnout for
a little bit better.
But at least we got some guys out there.
Yeah, we never really touched on that since the last time we did a podcast, but
yeah,
college teams are now allowed to fish Bassmaster Series. Without the school's consent. I'm kind of surprised the FLW hasn't jumped on board yet. Like,
I think they will. I really do think they will.
I got my fingers crossed because I love fishing Hartwell, and I would love to go down there.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait and see if they jump on the bandwagon.
Right.
But yeah,
I'd like it that they would.
I mean, I think they should. You know, I mean, they've seen better turnout just from the Bassmaster side of things, and I mean, FLW usually has even less boats than Bassmaster, so I'd imagine they're hurting a little bit, and they definitely would bump the numbers up at least 20 or 30 boats if they did that.
Yeah, and we're going to get into it in a minute after we talk about Cumberland. But how many boats were at the Chesapeake Bay?
It's a good question. Let me take a look, because that was the last FLW event for college.
Yes.
But I think that this was before. Was this before? No, this was after the announcement.
Yeah, I want to say it was the last weekend of September.
Let's take a look here. There were only 26 boats.
Oh my God. Yeah. So there you go. You like to think that once they've seen that they'd like to open it up. We're going to find out, and I sure hope they do because, like yourself, I really want to fish that tournament. It's actually where I qualified last year, a little later, but I'm definitely excited and hope that we can get there.
I want to read off. I want to read off a college name before you get into there. Into Cumberland. How about this? California University of Pennsylvania.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
I thought that was like a thing from Key and Peele for a second, and I was like, nope, that is actually a college name.
I don't know where I've heard of that, but I believe I have heard of that, and that's amazing. That's amazing. And it's amazing that they fish. That's great.
Yeah, good for them. Good for them.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into Cumberland. I didn't go to the event. Lewis did, along with a couple other guys from Charlotte, and he's gonna touch on it more than I had. But I will say that in all the pictures I've seen, that lake looked dang low from all the videos and pictures I've seen. I was like, is there any water left in that place?
Yeah, so I think that's about average for the pool this time of the year. I actually didn't check it on past years, but it seemed like from the videos I was seeing leading up and stuff like that, it seemed like in past years that's about where it's at. Actually,
Really?
Yeah, it fluctuates a whole lot throughout the year. I'd actually really like to get back there in the springtime when it's high because there's some awesome looking flipping water in there. But it was just stereotypical, plain as it gets, fall transition fishing, man. It was really tough. There were very few, if any. I don't think there was a single consistent 3-day pattern. There were definitely some patterns like that would go on for a day or two throughout the week, but there was nothing consistent. I don't know that there was a single team that rode out one bite from day 1 to day 3, or even from day 1 to day or the last day of the tournament from practice. It was just kind of all over the place. You had to adjust. I think you saw that with the winners. Congrats to Nolan and Casey, our buddies. They blew it out of the water. But there were a whole bunch of things going on. I can tell you that in practice, and I believe that one of the Campbellsville teams that actually lives there or lives on the lake or it's their home lake, whatever it was, in the weigh-in, at day 3, they were talking about how anything you had going in practice, you could throw out the window. And I 100% found that to be true, and I am sure a lot of other guys did. With the exception of like the deep stuff, I think there were some deep spots, some deep smallmouth areas that held fish throughout. But even those places that held those fish, they didn't seem to want to bite from day 1 to day 3.
Yeah, that definitely makes for tough fishing.
Yeah,
I mean, we saw it in the weights. The weights were incredibly low. I think they were honestly some of the lowest weights I've seen for a college tournament since I've been doing this.
Yeah, about 15 pounds, I want to say, 15 and a half pounds. I mean, they do work down some, but 17th place definitely qualified for the national championship, and I want to say about 15 and a half for 2 days with 17th place. It was really tough. The weight showed it. The fishing showed it. Lot of non-limits caught and a lot of small fish caught. A couple, you saw a couple limits or a couple fish where, you had a couple 4 fish for 3 pounds, 12 ounces, or 5 fish for 4.15. Like, just really, really tough fishing.
Yeah, it definitely looked tough, and once again, congratulations to Nolan Miner and Casey Lanier getting it done. I think Casey said it's their 4th year doing this. I think, in his
Yeah,
Instagram post, and they finally got a win. I think they finished in second a couple times now, so
yeah,
definitely good
yeah.
on them.
They had it coming for sure. Long overdue, and they blew it out of the water. They won by what, 11 pounds? Just a dominating finish. And I want to say, from what I heard in the post interview, and from kind of what I've seen, basically on what he was catching each day, um, I think first day they had some largemouth going, some shallow largemouth going, some deep smallmouth, a little bit of everything. Day two, I think he said they had fish in the two fish at 30 minutes to go and went deep, caught two smallmouths to weigh in what they had for. And then day three, they committed to all smallies deep. And I don't know if they got 7 bites or 5 bites, but caught a huge, huge stringer of smallies and won it. But I think that was just the trend was being on different things and being able to adjust each and every day. Um, I wasn't able to do it. A lot of guys weren't able to do it. I think even of the guys that did well, you saw a lot of guys that had 10 plus pounds one day and 4 to 6 pounds another day. It's just really hard to repeat and keep something going from day one to day two. And on top of it, they just weren't biting good. So even when you did get on them, I heard a lot of stories of missed and lost fish. I lost fish. Um, I saw a bunch of fish up shallow. I kind of committed up shallow, and I saw a ton of fish at the end of day two that just would not bite a bait. It was really tough, and you really had to manage your time. Really had to know when to give up on what you were doing because sometimes if you grinded something out for a bunch of hours and you'd finally get a bite or get too quick, and then other times, you had to just keep moving. It was just a really hard tournament. Congrats to the guys who did well. I kind of pride myself on doing well in tough tournaments, so I'm pretty bummed on how this one went for me. But that's how it goes, and hopefully the next one's better. St. John's River is coming up. That's the national championship at the end of October. We'll get into that as it comes sooner then. But
Yeah,
this one
I'm
was
definitely
tough.
super excited for the national championship. I think that's going to be an absolutely fantastic tournament.
I hope so. After this one, I hope they just freaking catch fish.
So
You'd like to think that you see some of the typical fall.
some of the normal fall fisheries.
Yeah. You'd like to think you start to see that all around the country. But again, congrats to those guys. Hell of a job to everybody, really, who come up in the top 20 or so. Amazing job. It was a really, really tough tournament. And that's about all I got from my report on how it went.
We appreciate you for driving out there and getting us the live report. That's why we sent you there, actually, just for that.
Oh yeah.
We just wanted bodies on the water.
It was something else. I'll say that for sure.
So up next for college series, we got the other end of the road. We've touched on a little bit. FW event, Chesapeake Bay. It was a tough tournament too. Apparently, it's that time of year, just like you said. All the tournaments will be tough.
I want to say, from what I remember from the results, it was some pretty good weights at the top and a quick fall off.
Yeah, it was a very sharp drop. As we said, only 26 boats fished this. Adrian College, half the field is Adrian College. Let's first talk about that. That's crazy. They pulled it out the win. Grant Gallagher and Ben Stately come in with 18-2. 18-2 is a good bag. I'll give them that. But it drops off so fast. 10th place was 10 pounds.
Yeah. I want to say that those guys at the top and knowing that fishery were probably on some kind of a grass bite out on the flat. And then I would say the guys towards the bottom probably scrounged around in the rivers and it was not easy. I'd bet those guys that caught fish up at the top probably had 5 or 6 bites a day.
There was one considerable bite, and I feel bad because these guys didn't make the cut line. But there was one team that brought in 8 pounds, 9 ounces for one fish. So,
oh my Lord,
that's a tank on Chesapeake.
Oh my Lord, I didn't know that. That's incredible.
Yeah, 8 pounds, 9 ounces. So that's a big fish. That almost makes the tournament right there. But
that's a giant.
They need to catch a couple more.
That's like I don't know. That's like a 12 or something anywhere else. That's a giant.
Yeah, another tough tournament. There's only one FLW event left, I believe, and it'd be Lake Hartwell, which we've touched on too.
Okay.
And it's FLW. They got small fields right now. They definitely need to get on that college wave system the Bassmaster's on, because I would definitely like to see a tournament more than 26 boats on it. There are some nightly tournaments out on Lake Norman that bring in more than 26 boats.
Yeah, that place. It's been an excellent year up on the Chesapeake, but at the same time, it can be stingy, and this time of year especially, it will be excellent. I would say in a couple of weeks here, that place can be really, really good in the fall, but it's just not there yet, and I can definitely understand why so many guys struggle.
Yep. It sounds like they were using the usual Chesapeake Bay stuff. They're fishing old chatterbaits and Senkos, and that's all very usual for that area.
Yeah. That's chatterbait and Senko are your staples out there, really. Unless you're fishing the docks in the rivers, flipping docks and maybe cranking some riprap. When you're fishing them flats, there ain't much better than chatterbait and Senko. That's the 1-2 punch.
Shall we move on to our local home lake of Lake Norman?
Tell me what went on in our local home lake.
Lots of good stuff. For those of you who don't know, Lake Norman is tough right now, and FLW proved that. Toyota Series. I'm sorry. Yes, Toyota Series. I'm gonna get this name mixed up. I'm gonna just keep calling it Costa Series, honestly.
I know.
They just finished up there today, actually, and Troy Morrow pulled it out. He had a 3-day total of where did you go?
32 or something.
Hold on, my thing's being funky.
I want to say it was 32.3 or something along those lines.
And my FLW website's frozen, so hold on.
Hold on.
There we go. 32.3.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds really great, but not really when you break it down. That's 10 pounds, 12 pounds, and 9.7. Yeah. I've fished Norman for the Big Bass Tour last weekend, and it was tough, extremely tough. In fact, pretty much everyone I talked to said it was tough too. So I went out there and I was like, man, I must really stink. Can't catch fish. But every person I came up on was like, yeah, we've caught like 1 or 2 fish the whole weekend. I'm like, okay, that makes me feel better. So
yeah, it's typical fall turnover, man. It's not easy to catch a few.
And, I do feel bad for these guys because I feel like later in the summer you'd be like, oh, it's probably not that bad out there. But last weekend, the boat traffic out there was just nasty. And I'm sure those guys had to compete with that this weekend.
Yeah, it's the end of the summer. People are trying to, not the end of the summer, it's the fall. And there's still some nice days, so people are just trying to get what they can. And for those who don't know, Lake Norman is one of the worst, in my opinion. As far as boat traffic goes,
it's absolutely. I was out on Norman for that Big Bass Tour, and I came across an absolute Armageddon of sailboats, and I ended up having to trim the motor up and just like idle across the shoal because these sailboats were taking up literally shoal to shoal. So it's like
Yeah.
you couldn't go through them; you had to go around them, and you had to go over a shoal. And I was like, "This is ridiculous."
Yeah, I can't say I'm surprised, and I like you said, I'm sure that factored into a lot of guys' tournament. It can really it can get in your head, honestly. I mean, I've been out there, and it can really frustrate you. Even if you've got five in the boat or one in the boat, you're feeling good. You're going places. If you run across uh, a rogue wave from a and it'll turn.
Hey, buddy, you're breaking up.
You hear me?
Now I can hear you.
Sorry about that, guys. I said, even if you've got fish in the boat, if you come across one of them 35-foot cruisers, rogue waves that you can hardly see, it can turn your mood sour real quick and affect decisions.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, it was like I say, Norman's like smack dab in the middle of that transition. I mean, top 10 cut to make day 3 was 18 pounds.
Yeah,
A lot of the local guys really didn't even do that good in it. One notable exception being Old Hammer himself, Brian Thrift, finishing in 3rd.
yeah, of course,
He just does good wherever he goes, honestly.
and especially there.
But, it's these tournaments, they were all reschedules and they just fell on a bad time of the year, really. I almost
Right.
wish they had them pushed back a little bit farther.
I want to say Norman was supposed to be in April, which would have been pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, that would have been a great tournament.
You wouldn't have seen the big bags that you would have seen in March, but you would see everyone would have fish. And you saw guys in this tournament with 2 and 3 and 1 fish. And in April, you don't see that.
I mean, you could say the same for Cumberland. I'm sure Cumberland would have been a lot better I think it was supposed to be in May originally.
Yeah, the two guys or the few guys that live near the lake said that in their weigh-in speech that if it was in May like it was supposed to be, we'd be much more impressed with the lake as opposed to coming away with a lot of guys, I'm sure, saying, "Screw this place, I don't want to come back ever."
That's how it
Hank
goes
did
with fishing.
I will say to get back to that Cumberland real quick. When that guy said it would have been really good in May, he said, "Oh, so you're saying if we go back next year in May, it'll be good?" They said yes. Maybe Hank was hinting towards something. I don't know. I think college schedule will come out soon, so we'll find out.
Yeah, I was gonna say we might have to talk college schedule pretty soon. Might have to make another prediction episode for where the college series was gonna end up.
I think we definitely do that.
Because that is probably right around the corner. I don't think we're going back to Cumberland. I'm gonna shoot that out there quick. I think Hank's just talking.
I think so too.
But you never know.
Hey, don't hint at your schedule. I don't want to know. Maybe next episode that's what we'll do.
All right, that sounds good to me.
And then.
In terms of college fishing, I mean, we got national championship coming up, and we got that one FLW event. FLW should be announcing their national championship pretty soon, actually. Where that's going to be, I would imagine they're going to go back to Florida. I'm gonna throw that out there, just because they definitely seem to be shooting for that winter national championship now. So,
I will say, what's weird is that this is the first time I think that the bracket in the national championship weren't at least close by. I want to say that's got something to do with COVID. I would like to think. So it's interesting to see if they go back to that format where, the Natty is like in past years, Chickamauga, and down the road at Watts Bar is the bracket, or I don't know. Think of a Natty, and it seems like most years the bracket's right down the road.
Yeah, Lay Lake is nowhere close to St. John's River.
No, I think what happened there is, and I don't think it's any coincidence that the Open that was supposed to be on Oneida that was rescheduled is also going to Lay Lake. I don't think that's a coincidence at all. I think they're finding places that are easy or whatever the case may be on COVID restrictions, and that's where they're kind of riding out their tournament. So hopefully next year, places start to come back to normal, and we don't have to go by COVID regulations as far as where we're scheduling tournaments.
We're all definitely wishing for that and hoping that we will soon be back to normal.
Yeah, but if we all got to fish, wherever lake we're supposed to or wherever lake we have to, as long as we're fishing, I guess I'm okay with it.
We'll go where they tell us to go.
Exactly. But anyways, what else is on the list? What else have we missed? Is it time for talk about the tank?
We can talk about the tank.
Can you talk about the tank?
And we can really talk about whatever you want,
Yeah, and we can talk about, the Yankees. We could talk about football, even though I don't really like football.
Oh God!
But I think we'll go with the tank.
All right, start us out. Let's hear it.
So,
what do you got?
Just not an amazing tournament. It was really tough, but an amazing win. We saw Frank Talley take home the Elite Series championship at Lake Gunnersville, the rescheduled championship, or not championship, but Elite Series event at Gunnersville. And before I get into talking about Frank's win, I want to say that even though the weights kind of sucked for Gunnersville, the fishing was tough. I'm sure somebody who was there would tell you it was no fun. I'm really kind of liking this Elite Series fall schedule. I think seeing them fish this time of the year is really cool. It's different, and I kind of like it. I really do. Obviously, I just fished Cumberland, and it sucked. It was going through fall transition, and I didn't like it. But seeing these elite guys fish outside of the, say, pre-spawn, spawn, pro-spawn, or post-spawn was really cool in my opinion. I feel like the last few years you might get a ledge tournament and then you get your smallmouth tournaments and then we wait till the classic. But seeing them fish in the fall is really cool in my opinion.
Yeah, I think I've brought it up multiple times now on the show. I am all for having some fall tournaments. Like I love fishing in the fall personally. Fall transition,
I hate it.
Not so much, but I like being in the fall fishing. And I don't know. I would like to see all the tournaments start to spread it out a little bit. Have some tournaments in the fall. It makes for, in my opinion, summer fishing is like So I would much prefer to see some guys do some fall fishing.
Yeah, see, I myself, I hate the fall. I hate the fall transition. I hate the heart of the fall. I hate everything about fall fishing. And that's kind of the reason why I like seeing fish it. I kind of get to learn a lot. I get to see different things go on. And I think it's worth noting, and I think we should have an episode where we talk about this too. Maybe, during some of the more dead times that will inevitably come in December-ish. The NPFL, the National Professional Fishing League, as they say on Ike Live, LMFAO, Party Rock Anthem, the new tournament thing coming up. They open up next year, and if I remember correctly, their format is 6 tournaments, 2 in the spring, 2 in the summer, 2 in the fall. So that'll definitely be interesting to see. The Elite Series is going to be really interesting to see. I like watching the fall. I like learning more about a time of the year that I tend to really struggle in. It was an awesome tournament to watch. Obviously, I was fishing for a lot of it at Cumberland, so I really didn't watch. But I watched a lot of recaps, and it was just so cool to see all of the different techniques play. Just like Cumberland, there was no true pattern. It seemed guys were adjusting day to day, and I mean, you saw guys like Kyle Welcher just pulling up on places he never fished before, just straight junk fishing. Um, you saw Wes Logan led day three. He was flipping. You saw Randy Sullivan on day four make a push crank and bridge piling. And then, of course, Frank Talley was up the river throwing a chatterbait and current. So, I mean, everything played. And I think that's really neat.
Yeah, I'm gonna come up with a slight slight. I don't want to say that it's not backed up by facts, but I kind of think Gunnersville is on the downturn. And
Mm.
I think if you looked at the classic and you looked at this tournament, I felt like the weights weren't what they used to be on Gunnersville.
Yeah, I think Gunnersville goes through ebbs and flows.
I say that because I don't know if it's just because they just keep catching it on an off weekend, just like you would on Norman.
Right.
I don't know what the local tournaments have been bringing in, but I don't know. Like when I put in my weights for fantasy, like I picked higher than 68 pounds. I think was what he caught in 3 days.
64.
64. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was gonna be higher than that, and it's definitely could have been prey to the fall transition too.
Definitely. The TVA is or that I think Gunnersville and Chick are notoriously tough in the fall. Not even just the transition, the fall in general. Um, I think in its heyday, Gunnersville had like a insane fall frogging bite, but I just don't think they got under those mats, that dying grass mat. I think it's just a little too early. And yeah, like you said, I think it does have ebbs and flows. I think it's a combination of a downturning beginning and also just a crappy time of the year.
And he was on a chatterbait. I think chatterbait's definitely become the staple of tournament fishermen. If we've learned anything in the last couple of years,
Yeah,
especially on grass lakes and river systems like we see, and it's that bait is definitely the way to go if you're having a tough time catching them, in my opinion. And I think you're seeing a lot of pros prove that, especially in recent tournaments.
it's just, in my opinion, it's one of the best search baits there is out there, and it's extremely versatile. I mean, you can fish it in grass, wood, rock. I mean, obviously, it shines in grass like nothing else, but you can kind of fish it all over the place. And as far as the search bait goes, finding fish, covering water, it's just phenomenal for it. And the grass at Gunnersville, and especially this time of the year, just sets up perfectly for that bite.
It was a good tournament, and what was it? This is the AOY is what's up next, right?
No, so this was actually Gunnersville was the beginning of the second half of the season, if you believe that.
Really?
Uh,
See, I'm
they
totally out of
fished
the loop.
St. John's. They fished. What did they fish? St. John's, Eufaula in June after the delays.
Yeah.
St. Lawrence, um, Champlain, and St. Clair were the first five, and then it's Gunnersville, uh, Santee,
That's right. Yeah, that's
Chickamauga,
right. They go to Santee. Yeah.
Chickamauga, and then Lake Fork. So we got a whole lot more Elite Series competition to stay tuned and watch, and definitely exciting stuff.
It's definitely going to be cool, especially when they get deeper into the fall. Like you said,
Yeah,
they never have tournaments then, so to just see what guys do, it's gonna be cool because usually I aren't able to see that.
I agree. I'm not sure if Santee is this upcoming week. It may be. I may be in 2 weeks. It's coming up soon. Chick's coming up, and then Lake Fork's going to be. I think that'll be an awesome tournament. I think that'll be really exciting. You're going to see a lot of reaction-based play. It should be pretty good. You should see a lot of fish caught.
I'm looking it up right now. Let's see here. When our Santee Cooper is October 8th through 11th.
Yep, that's this week. So it starts on Thursday.
Yeah. So it's gonna be, that's gonna be. I don't know. That might be a little too early too. It's still probably gonna be right in the middle of that transition.
I agree. I think it's still going to be tough. But Santee is Santee. You're going to see big bags and big fish caught.
Oh, there's certainly going to be some giant bags caught. Well, I guess the natural question would be, what is your prediction?
My prediction?
What is your 4-day total prediction?
Patrick Walters.
Patrick Walters. By how much? What do you think? What's the weight going to be?
Patrick Walters.
That's it? That's all you got for me?
That's all I got for you. No, I think so. It'll take more than Gunnersville. I do think, just because it's such a huge fishery, and it doesn't. Gunnersville is extremely pressured. I mean, there's always going to be a ton of boats, ton of fishing pressure in Gunnersville. Santee's a little more off the beaten path. It obviously gets pressure, just like Gunnersville does, for being such a great lake. But it's going to be good, I think.
Here's my pick. This is a hot take. I think Zaldane gets it done.
Wow.
I think 80. I'm saying 86 pounds, Zaldane.
Interesting.
That's my pick. We'll come back next week, see if it's right. Probably not, but
I'm gonna say 76.
76. All right, okay. I like being the high one. How about that?
I think 19 pounds a day gets it done.
It's definitely going to be a good tournament, and I'm looking forward to seeing it.
For sure.
What else you got for us, bud? I mean, that's our wrap up, right? There's no more.
I want to say there was the Toyota Series out in California. If you want to check on that for me, I could be wrong.
I can look. How about
take a look?
How about MLF? No, I'm just kidding. We don't have to look at them.
Nobody talks about MLF. Nobody cares.
People fish that? That's the thing?
No.
You guys, no.
Absolutely not.
The Toyota Series. Let's take a look here. Nope. Wait.
No.
Oh, hold on. Their website, their style of doing this is funky to me.
The FLW website is the worst website in the history of websites.
Plains. God, there's so many tournaments. Southern, Southwestern. This is where they lose me. Western. Clear Lake was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
Wow. Absolute sacks out there on Clear Lake.
Clear Lake is freaking good, man.
I'm not going to try and pronounce this name because I'm going to pronounce it wrong. I want to say Ty was the winner.
Okay.
He had a 3-day total of 63 pounds, including a 26-pound bag on day 3.
Oh, my God. That's awesome.
Absolute studs.
I think about that. That's great. Love it.
Gotta love it.
They're in there. That's a place I'd definitely like to go.
Oh, I would absolutely love that in the Delta. Would love to fish the Delta at some point.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Let me look through here. Nope. No, that's it for tournaments for the Toyota Series. So we got a couple coming up.
What do we got?
First one, let's see. Sam Rayburn is the 15th.
Okay. The next week. Not this upcoming weekend, but the next.
Lake of the Ozarks is this weekend.
Ooh. That'll be interesting. I like that.
That is it. Yeah. Ozarks.
Cool.
Uh,
Good deal.
Yeah, that's it for Toyota Series.
Well, everybody, stay tuned. We got Elite Series this coming weekend on Santee Cooper. That'll be very exciting.
We'll do our picks. We'll do our picks for where college series is going next year.
Yeah, next week we'll do Elite Series recap. We'll talk about the college series next year. Hopefully we can make some pretty good predictions on what's going to happen. And yeah, in the meantime, y'all have a great week. Get to fishing. Hopefully figure out some of that fall fishing because I can't. And that's about all I got.
About all I got too. We look forward to being live and in person next week.
Yeah, we're looking forward to sitting next to you next week.
Yeah, we gotta get our pretty faces back on the screen. You know.
That's right. That's right. It's important. People need that.
But anyways, guys, tight lines, and we'll see you next time.